Ta-da! Howdy! How are you? This is Tom the Beer Whisperer, and you're drinking with the Beer Whisperer again. This time, what is it? It is a Hazel Brown from Sam Adams. Why am I drinking so many Sam Adams? Well, if you saw the last, because I found a mix pack. And it was a bargain. $13 for a mix pack. Gotta love a price like that, do you not? So let's pour and take a look, and then we'll talk about the particulars, and then we'll just have our barroom conversation. Uh, hmm. Ooh, wow. A very nice nose. Just like mine. Coffee you don't expect to get in a beer like this. Very interesting nose. I'm getting toffee and coffee notes. Very interesting. Wow. That wasn't a flavor I was expecting at all, to be honest with you. Let me read the particulars of it. 5.2, 20 IBUs, malts. They use a two-row barley, Sam Adams two-row barley. One more time. Sam Adams two-row pale malt blend, caramel 60, Dingaman's biscuit, and Paul's roasted barley. Okay, there we go. Now I got it right. Hop varieties are Hallertau, Middle Fruit, Noble Hops, and East Kent Goldings. Okay, obviously with those numbers, 5220, more malty than hoppy. We read you just a touch of history on this here from their website. While nut brown ales do not have a particularly long history, brown ales have been around in England since the late 17th century. The style became rare at the start of the 19th century as brewers began using pale malts as the base for beers in place of the more expensive brown malts. The resurgence of the style began at the end of that century, and by the 1920s, brown ales were fairly common again. Okay, well there you go. How you feel about that? Um, Most of the time I like to pop a beer before I read any reviews on it, but I happened to run across a couple uh, before I had a chance to try this. So I saw a couple that were very favorable, some that were not. I'm actually not minding it. Some flavors I wasn't expecting. Wow. Hmm. One of the most known is Newcastle Brown for Americans, an English beer, but it's kind of one of those step-up beers for many Americans. It was one of those when all that was available here was mostly the American adjuncts. That was one of the first imports you could get a hold of. So I remember, probably being about 21 the first time I had a nut brown. Thought it was awesome. Of course, now by today's standards, it doesn't have a lot of flavor, but it just shows how your taste buds progress as you go. Um, this does have a nutty flavor. It's very interesting, actually. Again, I think when all is said and done, it's going to fall in the same category that most Sam Adams beers do for me. Is I'm going to like it. I'm not going to love very few Sam Adams beers. I love very few I hate. I've kind of got this like relationship with them. I guess part of me applauds them for being consistent, and the other part of me wants to condemn them for not thinking out of the box. I know they have their larger series, people, but some they have this. Yeah, but in most cases, even those bigger beers within that style, they're still smaller, and they're not. For me anyway, they just don't go, wow. For instance, let me go back over here. Bears with me. And I lost it. Okay. Ugh. Hate when that happens. There we go. Well, I mean, even their imperial stouts and their, I find them good, but there's others I like better. I can't think of any Sam Adams beer that is in my top three of any beer. That being said, you know what? Sometimes it's just about drinkability, man. Sometimes it's just about, hey, I got 13 bucks in my pocket. There's a mix pack, and they're all going to be tasty. And there you go. There certainly isn't anything wrong with that either. So, I mean, there is something to be said for consistency and solid drinkability, and Sam Adams pretty much has that. This is interesting. You ever have a beer that you're just not sure about? This is kind of one of those. I'm getting different flavors that I'm not expecting from this style. And I'm not sure what I feel about it at the moment, to be honest with you. I like the flavors. I'm concerned what I'm going to feel like down here, or if I try to drink two of them, if it would feel cloying, because I'm getting some lingering. I do taste coffee. I do taste a nut. I taste toffee. Oh. Wow, interesting. It's funny the evolution of bars right now. Before I was born, my dad owned bars, and us kids were dragged in and out of bars all through our youth. Pubs in the 60s, they weren't called pubs back then, but bars in the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Always used a 10-ounce pour. Every draft was a 10-ounce pour. So the drafts were always cheaper than the bottles, but it was always a 10-ounce pour. In many cases, they use these big glasses. My dad had some. He was kind of like, these big, kind of Henry VIII type glasses, big bowl type, that they look huge, but they're very thick glass. But they actually only hold 10 ounces, but it looked like you were getting a large beer. That was kind of how things were done back then. I remember some of the trendier places start going to 12 ounce. They do a 12 ounce or 23 ounce mug. A lot of places did that. But with the growing popularity of craft beer, many places are using, well, what they're telling you, they're using a pint glass. And theoretically they are. Very few of them actually use a true pint glass, which actually holds a 16-ounce pour. Generally what they're giving you is a glass that will hold 16 ounces. But they generally give you a glass that has about this much head on it, so really what you're getting is about a 12-ounce pour. But you're getting a 12-ounce pour. That's kind of been, the evolution of how things have changed over the years. But it used to be, I mean, as a kid, a draft was always a 10-ounce pour. Some places would serve in the glass that I described to you that would kind of fool you. Some use these, most places actually used, were kind of just like smaller Pilsner glasses. And then back in the day, for the most part, with some exceptions, it seemed like men always ordered bottles, unless there was a group and you were having a pitcher. Most women tend to drink out of a glass. Men didn't drink out of a glass a lot back then, and now it seems more, everybody's drinking out of a glass because now you have to pour it, and you got to smell it. And, many of the more complex beers, you got to let that genie out of the bottle, if you don't, you try to drink a beer out of the bottle, you're going to miss a lot of the aromas. You've got to pour it off and let it open up in your glass. That's kind of how things have changed over the years. My brother and I would be small. They just kind of sit us off to a table off to the side, and they go up and have a drink. My mom and dad, and they'd sit us at a table there. Give us a Coke and beef jerky, And you know, it was in the days of the kids were seen and not heard. You know, you, we were like dancing monkeys. You know, you only talked or said anything if you were asked a question. You know, you had to act like a perfect gray monkey because you wanted to keep them Cokes and beef jerkies coming. My phone just gonna ring. Anyways, I digress. There was an American Legion that my mom and dad used to go to all the time, and they had this little kind of a toy bowling machine. I'm sure some of you have seen it. They had the little metal deals on the bottom. Pins would rise, you roll the ball, and well, my brother and I spent so much time on that machine that we were fairly good at it. So I mean, there'd be times when him and I would be in there hustling Coke and beef jerky. We'd get a lot of free Coke and beef jerky from being pretty good at that darn game. Anyway, hey, here's the thing. I want to sit here and drink this whole thing with you, and you know, I talk about the beer. Sometimes I drift off and talk about other things, but I kind of want to. I do that because I want to see the evolution of this thing. I want to see how it goes. If it tastes the same from start to finish, from colder to warmer kind of thing. I did start with this one pretty well chilled and let it warm up a little bit. It may be one of those beers that is actually better served warmed up a touch because it is a fall style. So overall, I like it. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised with the toffee notes. The coffee kind of blows me away, and it's bigger, more pronounced than I usually get from a brown ale. Yeah, I mean it does. It's good. It's certainly worth the money. So try it. Like I said, I read one review. Someone just slammed it, didn't like it at all. But I actually think I like it better than they do. Is this a style I want to buy a 6-pack of them? Honestly, no. I probably will not. But the odds of me buying another 12-pack of this mixed pack and drinking another couple before the season's over, yeah, that I probably will. So there you go. And is it one I probably want to drink 2 or 3 right in a row? No. But in fairness, I don't drink 2 or 3 of many things in a row. I'm the guy that likes to keep changing the beer up and down, depending on my mood, all through the evening. So there you go. Sam Adams. We'll try the bottle one last time, and we'll say goodbye. Goodbye, Sam Adams. So, Sam Adams. Focus, Tom. Sam Adams. Hazel Brown. This is the last swallow. Let's finish it. We come this far together, baby. Let's go the whole way. Let's go to full Monty, baby. There we go. Hey, this time the Beer Whisperer. You've been drinking with the Beer Whisperer, and that was Sam Adams Hazel Brown. Actually, not a bad beer, so go try one.